This is Nicolas Chaudron. Welcome to Ecosummit Paris.
So thank you, Yann. First of all, I'd like to thank you for organizing your Ecosummit in Paris. It's been a long time since we had an international event here in France. And probably last time was probably 7 years ago. And I'm very impressed by all the audience. So it's a good sign for what we do in sustainable investments. It means that now the community has reached a critical size. You invited me to talk about our new fund. Actually, the timing is good because we are right now finalizing. So PR is not ready. So part of the things I'm going to share with you has not been approved by all the parties, but it's public confirmation is soon. We are finalizing right now our next sustainable fund called Idinvest Smart City, which is going to be 300 million euros. And basically for the people who know us, this is a merger of what we used to do under the Electranova brand name, investments related to energy opportunities, and investments we used to do under the Ecomobility Venture brand name, where we were doing investments in the mobility space. But basically, we keep the same ingredients, and we are merging Electranova and Ecomobility Venture together to create, within Idinvest, a smart city investment practice, so where we're going to still covering investment opportunities related to the energy sector, to the smart mobility, to the connected infrastructure, Internet of Things, robotics, all the opportunities. Actually, we had a couple of our portfolio companies presenting this afternoon. So I saw the people from Stanley Robotics. I saw Teddy just before break from each. Is one of our most recent investments. And I'm just looking where my colleagues Matthew and Julian are to see if I'm... so are there, Matthew? Are there some other companies that... Forsy, they presented? Okay, Forsy Power. And maybe a few others. So this is what we are doing. So the fund is going to be 300 million euros, and we keep the same ingredients. First of all, partnering with corporate. This time we have 10 strategic partners, 5 French, EDF, PSA, Total, SNCF, and Michelin. And we're going to have 5 international investors or non-French investors into the fund, which we like. There is a Hager Group, Eric Thomas is in the room. We have Admiral, the British insurance company. We have a utility company in Europe, and we have 2 investors coming from Asia. So we are going to develop that. And the first example, so the fund actually, even though we are going to do the final closing in a few weeks, we did the first closing 18 months ago, so we already made 7 investments out of that fund. Best example of strategic collaboration for you guys who are entrepreneurs, this is the kind of things we can bring to the table, is in an investment we made in the US of Grid Electric, which is deploying energy as you go in Africa. They are one of the leaders in Africa. They've been able to sign a $100 million joint venture with EDF. And thanks to the strategic relationship we have with EDF. And now the good news is that we don't have only EDF as a strategic partner, but we have 10 of them where we're going to be able to multiply the strategic deals. We're going to help you to strike with those strategic partners. So we keep that part of what we used to do in the past. The second part is that we keep the global coverage of what we are doing. So with our prior funds, we used to invest 1/3 of our deals outside of Europe, in the US. So we're going to keep investing in the US. We're going to keep investing all over Europe. And with this new fund, we're going to start investing in Asia as well. So if you're doing things related to Asia, there is a chance that we get along very well. We have another team member on top of Matthew at the back, which is Julian. Julian is here. This is our guy living between Beijing and Singapore. On one side to meet local entrepreneurs who want to come to Europe, but the same way to support European entrepreneurs who want to do business in Asia. Today, 80% of the companies we've invested in Europe are doing significant business in Asia. The best example, this is a water treatment company in Hungary called Organica. I think Organica now, Julian, they're doing 82% of their turnover in China. Yeah, 82%. So these are the kind of things, and thanks to people like Julian, he doesn't look Chinese, but actually I don't think he's French, he's Chinese. and they can support you in doing your business over there. So we keep the same ingredients as we used to have through Electranova and Ecomobility Ventures, so partnering with corporate, having a global approach, and partner with the best entrepreneur to create global companies. And so even though this is an unofficial announcement of our fund, so basically we are almost finalizing a 300 million euro fund, and we're going to accelerating our investment into startups. So guys, this is why we are here. There is Matthew, there is Julian, and there is myself, so don't hesitate to talk to us. We are looking for new investment opportunities. Thank you. I stay there?
Yeah, I have a question, or maybe even two. You are merging with a big company called Euraseo.
Yeah.
What can you tell me why?
Well, so it's much broader than Ecosummit. Probably there is a consolidation in the private equity sector now. So Idinvest, for those who know only what we do through Electranova and Ecomobility Venture and Idinvest Smart City, actually it's only a very small part of what we do within Idinvest. We manage today 9 billion euros, 3 billion euros in venture capital, so we became probably the largest VC in Europe. And as part of the trend in the private equity sector, we feel that we need to be even bigger. So 9 billion euro is not enough anymore in the private equity landscape on a global basis. If we want to keep growing, there are some economies of scale to create. And with Euraseo, we are building a 15 billion euro investment platform for private companies. And so basically, there is a race for consolidation in the market, and we want to take the lead on that. So this is why we are merging with Euraseo. But for entrepreneurs, particularly for what we do in VC and tech investments, we're going to keep the Idinvest brand name, and these are going to be the same people. So it won't change that much what we are doing. It's just going to accelerate the growth of what we are doing.
When Mathieu, your colleague, was pitching the new fund in London, only in November, he talked about 300 million. And you mentioned...
No. He talked about 200 million, I think, Mathieu?
Or 250, maybe it was 250.
In London? Which number did you give? Because I thought that with 300, I was bringing a new information to the table.
But now the new fund is 300 or...
No, this is the same fund, but actually...
500, didn't you say?
No, it's going to be 300.
300, okay. 300, okay. It's going to be 300.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Just to make sure. It will be a little bit bigger than After Capital, but it's a lot of money, 300. Yep. You need to be very active and spend it, large tickets, many startups. Yep. How big will be the portfolio that you plan to build with the 300 million?
So it's going to be roughly 20 companies. Today we already made an investment in 7 companies. So each was our 6 investments, and then we invested in Abix, company digitalizing the residential real estate market. And investment number 8 is on track. It should be in Israel.
Okay, wow. Okay, Idinvest on the run. Thank you very much, Nicolas.
Thank you, Ian.